Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story of what if Naruto has Saitama's powers, One Punch Man. Let's see how everything changes if Naruto was OP from the beginning. Let's begin now. Chapter 14. I'm sure this is where Gigi said he would be. Naruto was walking around the hot springs while looking for some guy called Jiraiya. Hiruzen had told Naruto earlier that morning that it was time to learn to control the Kyuubi's chakra, so was sent to find this Jiraiya guy. Perverted giggle. Naruto heard something from above him. Looking up, he saw a large white-haired man crouching on a tree branch. Oh, you naughty girls. Giggle. Excuse me. Not now, boy, can't you see I'm busy? The man was writing in a small notebook. What are you doing up there? I'm researching, now go away. Huh. What are you researching? Tree bark. Why does it matter? Quiet murmurs. Naruto looked at the wall, then back at the man. He's peeping on the women in the hot springs. Naruto realized. Getting a smirk on his face, Naruto walked away. A few seconds later, a blonde-haired woman in an orange jumpsuit walked into the hot springs. Thought that brat would never leave. Now, where were we, ladies? Looking over the hot spring wall, he saw a woman walk over to one of the women inside and point in his direction. The woman looked, and upon see Jiraiya, she screamed. Peeper. That drew the attention of the kunoichi inside. Oh, that's not good. But those bouncing breasts, the kunoichi caught Jiraiya before he could run and pummeled him into the ground. Grown Naruto, now back in his male form, was crouched in front of Jiraiya. I'm guessing, you're the guy Gigi sent me to find. Jiraiya glared up at the blonde. Who are you? Naruto Uzumaki, Genin, soon to be Chunin, and I really dislike perverts. Nice to meet you. I take it that's why you ratted me out, to stop me from researching. Jiraiya asked while standing back up. No, I ratted you out because it was funny. If I actually wanted to stop you, I would have done it myself. Oh ho, the brat thinks he's tough. Jiraiya smirked down at Naruto. No, I just know I could have stopped you if I wanted to. Oh, do tell. I'm just dying to hear how a brat like you could have stopped me. Naruto returned Jiraiya's smirk. Like this, suddenly, Jiraiya was no longer looking at a blonde in a jumpsuit. Instead, he was looking at the sky and clouds above. Huh. Jiraiya quickly looked around and discovered that he was actually in the sky. Right over the woman's hot spring. Splash. Jiraiya landed in the hot spring's water and floated face down for a moment before standing up. So, you didn't get enough earlier. Huh. Naruto heard the women commence the beat down, so he sat down under the tree to wait. Jiraiya screams. The smirk on Naruto's face got even larger. About 10 minutes passed before Jiraiya was thrown back over the wall and slid to a stop in front of Naruto. Having fun. I hate you, brat. That's nice, so anyways Naruto stands up. Gigi wants to see us. Jiraiya lifted his head to better glare at Naruto. Why should I care what your Gigi wants? Because he's the Hokage, and you're in his village. Naruto started walking away. Hey, wait up. Jiraiya ran to catch up. How'd you do that? A teleportation jutsu? No. Bloodline that allows you to move people? Nope. You ate a mystical fruit that allows you to put anyone you touch into a bubble and repel them at extreme speeds. That's ridiculous. Also no. Then, how? I threw you. You threw me. Yep. Huh. Well, that's boring. I preferred the fruit explanation more. That's not possible, though. Meanwhile, over with Luffy and the gang. Take this, Kuma. Gomo Gomo no smack. Luffy was sent flying away due to Kuma's devil fruit. You're right, Sai, a man can dream though. Jiraiya asked Naruto questions all the way to the Hokage's office. Knock *, knock. Gigi. I found the old pervert. Hey. I am Jiraiya, the great toad sage of Mount, don't care. Chuckle, come in. The two walked through the door. Naruto was in front, with Jiraiya directly behind him. Hey, Gigi. Hey, sensei. Hello. Anything else, Gigi? Not right now, Naruto. Why don't you wait outside for a few minutes? Alright. Naruto nodded and walked back outside, and shut the door behind him. Click. Jiraiya and Hiruzen stared at each other for a few moments, then Hiruzen reached beneath his desk. He pulled out a file labeled Uzumaki, and placed it on the desk in front of Jiraiya. Anbu, guard the perimeter, but don't enter the room again until I send for you. A few seconds passed before a whoosh was heard and the two were left alone. This is Naruto's, your godson's, ninja file. Please, read through it to see what all you've missed. Jiraiya looked away from the file. You know I was busy, sensei. I couldn't just drop my work. Damn it, Jiraiya. I am your Hokage, and I've given you plenty of time off over the years. The least you could have done was show up for a birthday or two. And say what, sensei? Hey, how's it going, Naruto? I'm your godfather, and I couldn't save your parents. Is that what you want, huh? Sighed Jiraiya, you know that wasn't your fault. I was there and I couldn't save them. What makes you think that if you had been here, you wouldn't have died as well? I don't know, but I could have been the one to do the sealing, instead. Do you honestly think I wouldn't have done the same? By the time I arrived, Minato had already sealed away the 9 tails and Kushina was knocking on death's door. There was nothing you, or I, could have done to prevent either of their deaths. Jiraiya crossed his arms and looked back at Hiruzen. Even so, he's had a better life without me here. I would have just complicated things. Hiruzen lit his pipe and took a few puffs before responding. How would you know? How would you know if his life was better without you in it? You never bothered to try any other way. Sensei, you know that's not fair. And, you think the hand that boy's been dealt, was, fair. I hate to burst your bubble, Jiraiya. But that boy hasn't had an easy life. Are you saying? Scoffs, you think I would let someone abuse him? The few that have tried over the years didn't live to try again, but I can't control people's fears. They ignored him because they feared him. They pretended he didn't exist because they didn't want him to exist, and it's affected him. Even if he doesn't show it, their fear instilled a form of self-reliance in him that no child should have. Hiruzen looked out his window. It also made him strong. Laugh, yeah, I noticed. Hiruzen smiled. Yes, I saw your meeting didn't go as well as you thought it would. You could have warned me. Chuckle, not a chance. I enjoy Naruto's pranks almost as much as he does. Provided they aren't aimed at me. Sigh, figures. The two silently stared at each other for a few more seconds. You want me to teach him to harness the Kyuubi's chakra, don't you? Nope. Jiraiya face faulted. What? Personally, I don't think he actually needs the Kyuubi's chakra. However, if what your spies have said is correct, then he's going to need all the help he can get. So, teach him, if you wouldn't mind. Actually, that was rhetorical, Jiraiya. Sigh, of course, sensei. I'll begin right away. See that you do. Jiraiya left the room. Come on, Blondie. Chuckle asterisk Hiruzen. Jiraiya led Naruto to a training field far away from the village and had Naruto sit down. Sit like this, brat. Jiraiya showed him the proper meditation form and Naruto copied him. What now? Close your eyes. Right. Naruto complied. Now, picture a gate, for lack of a better term. This gate will be the entrance to the Kyuubi's seal and where you need to go. Naruto focused inward and pictured a large gate. Now what? Do you have the image in mind? Yeah. Clonk. Jiraiya punched him in the head. Ouch. What was that for? Naruto yelled while holding his head. That was supposed to knock you out. Jiraiya looked at his fist and then Naruto's head. Why did you try to knock me out? To get you inside the seal. How does knocking me out get me inside? It's either that or waiting for you to fall asleep while thinking of the gate. Sigh. Alright. If you want something done, do it yourself. Naruto closed his eyes and focused for a few minutes. What are you planning? Naruto ignored him. Hello, wham. Naruto punched himself in the jaw and was knocked out. Why do I get the feeling this brat thinks I'm too weak to knock him out? No one answered Jiraiya's question. Would have been weird if someone did. Meanwhile, inside the seal. Huh. So this is the inside of the seal. Naruto looked around at the red walls and water-covered floor. It's like a sewer in here. He started following the path laid out before him. He noticed the 3 pipes circling around the pathway and the 3 colors of water inside them, but deciding he would ask the old pervert about them later. Eventually, Naruto came to a door. This is it, I guess. Taking a deep breath, Naruto pushed open the door and walked through. Whoa. Once inside, he saw a massive gate that stretched so far in every direction, he couldn't see the end. So, my jailer has finally come to pay me a visit, eh? A deep voice asked from behind the bars. Are you the Kyuubi? Naruto walked closer to the gate. Chuckle, indeed, I am. Gulp, I was sent here to learn how to use your chakra. Is that so? Yes, it is. Is that okay? Oh, of course. Really? Of course. Not. The Kyuubi roared. His massive arm came flying out from behind the bars and slammed down where Naruto was standing. Foolish human. It attempted to pull its arm back, but found that it was unable to move it. It tried a few more times, with the same result. That wasn't nice. The Kyuubi tilted its hand up to see underneath and saw Naruto holding a claw above his head. Release me, human. No, I don't think I will. The Kyuubi once again tried to pull its claw free, but Naruto didn't budge. I said, release me. The Kyuubi swung its other arm into Naruto. Naruto caught it as well. And I said, no. Naruto jumped back while holding the Kyuubi's arms. Bang. The Kyuubi's head was slammed into the bars. Groan. Had enough. Never. Bang. 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 The room was filled with the sounds of Kyuubi's head bouncing off the bars. After 10 or so slams, Naruto stopped. Had enough, yet. Groan. Yeah. Can you let go, now? Sure. Naruto released the Kyuubi's arms. Thanks. Now, die. The Kyuubi attempted to crush Naruto again. Bang. 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 Naruto caught its claw, and repeatedly slammed Kyuubi into the bars. Alright bang. I've bang. Had bang. Enough. Naruto stopped after hearing it. Are you sure? Because I can do this all day. Groan. I'm sure. But are you really sure? I'm really, really, really sure. Alright. Naruto released his hold on the claw, and the Kyuubi pulled its arm back inside to hold its head. So, about the chakra. Groan. I'll give you permission to use my chakra if you'll go away until my head stops ringing. Deal. Naruto looked around for a few seconds. How do I do that? Same way you got in. Oh, okay. Naruto punched himself in the face and vanished from the Kyuubi's sight. Groan. Why couldn't he have just been a loud, annoying, idiot, instead of a strong, loud, annoying, idiot? Outside the seal, Naruto awoke to see Jiraiya standing over him. Don't worry if you didn't get it to agree, I didn't think you would. No, it agreed. After all, no normal person could ever get the Kyuubi to agree to something so one-sided as letting you use its chakra. I said it agreed. I mean, only a complete and total psycho would ever dream of getting the Kyuubi to agree to something like that. Hello. I said it agreed. Quote. I heard you the first time, my brain just didn't want to accept it. Oh. So what now? Honestly, helping you access the Kyuubi's chakra was all I had planned. So, you have nothing else to teach me. Well, how would you feel about signing a summoning contract? Naruto gave Jiraiya a bright smile. Sounds like fun. Chapter 15. This is the final chapter of the Chunin exam arc. Hello Hiruzen, how are you on this fine day? The fourth Raikage asked as he stepped inside the cage box. He was the first of the expected 3 cage to arrive. Oh hello I'm doing well, and yourself? Hiruzen motioned for it to sit in the chair next to him. I'm doing fine, now that I have some sake to wet my throat. Lifted his jug of sake into the air. Cheers. He drank deeply from the jug. Chuckle, enjoying the festivities, or we? What? I never get to relax back in Kumo. It's always work, work, punch my brother, and work some more. I know what you mean. It's the same here. Sigh. When I took over from my father, I would never have thought that I would spend the majority of my days filling out paperwork. Laugh. Yes, the bane of all cage, paperwork. If I knew we would be discussing paperwork, I would have stayed home. Onoki floated into the cage box. Onoki, how's the back? Hiruzen greeted his old enemy. Groan. Better than I expected, after such a journey. And to think, you didn't even send an escort to pick me up. Oh ho. Are you so old you need to be walked everywhere, Onoki? Onoki's face turned red and he glared at Hiruzen. You would know, wouldn't you, Hiruzen? How's the retirement home treating you? Onoki asked with a smile. It was Hiruzen's turn to glare. Just fine, actually. How's your arthritis, does it still hurt to walk? Only during the winter. Do you still have those kidney stones? During this exchange, the cage arrived and saw the two. Sigh, great, now I have to listen to them try and one-up each other. Chuckle, Hello, Rasa. How've you been? Rasa noticed A was drinking out of a large sake jug. Mind if I take a swig? I've only been here for 5 minutes and they're giving me a headache. A looked at his jug, then at Rasa. He narrowed his eyes for a second before finally smiling. Of course. Darui, bring the case a glass. A yelled. Rasa took the time to sit down in the chair beside A. They talked for a few minutes but were interrupted when Darui entered the cage box. Your glass, Rakage-sama. Darui handed A small sake glass, which was then passed to Rasa. Rasa narrowed his eyes at the glass but accepted it nonetheless. My thanks, A. Poured sake into Rasa's glass and the two drank in silence. Gecko Hayate walked inside the cage box then and interrupted Hiruzen and Onoki. Cough, Hokage-sama, it's time. The 4 cage looked at Hayate and while 3 of them accepted the arrival of the ninja without issue. One of them couldn't believe his eyes. No, Baki assured me, he was dead. Did Baki lie to me? The cage looked at Hiruzen suspiciously but didn't draw attention to himself. Ah. Of course, Hayate. Thank you. Hayate bowed his head to Hiruzen, then left. Hiruzen stood up from his chair and turned to the gathered cage. Well, shall we get this started? Groan, yes, let's get this over with. I can already imagine the pile of paperwork I'll have waiting for me when I get home. Onoki. The other 3 cage shivered, each was imagining the work they would have backed up after this vacation of theirs. A and Rasa stood as well, and the 4 cage made their way out onto the balcony. The stadium was packed with civilian and ninja alike, from villages all across the land of fire and beyond. Attention everyone. Hiruzen spoke into a microphone and the once noisy crowd grew silent as they waited for the Hokage to continue. Thank you, we are gathered here today to witness some very talented ninja compete for the chance to be promoted to the rank of Chunin. Applause drowned out Hiruzen for a moment, then quieted down. Unfortunately, for 2 of my fellow cage, none of their ninja made it to this crucial point. However, they have decided to come watch and enjoy the festivities, anyway. A round of applause for my fellow cage. A, the 4th Rakage of Kumogakure. Applause raised his sake jug to the crowd. Rasa, the 4th cage of Sunagakure. Applause Rasa bowed slightly to the crowd. Onoki, the 3rd Tsuchikage of Iwagakure. Applause Onoki glared at Hiruzen for the dig at his age but raised his hand to the crowd anyway. And I am Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage of Konohagakure. The crowd cheered for Hiruzen. Yes, yes, settle down. Now, let the exam begin. Meanwhile, outside the village. Baki was helping the arriving sand and sound ninja prepare to enter the village. Though a majority of them had arrived the night before, they were still waiting for over 30% of their forces. Where are they? We need everyone here if we want this plan to work. Lord Rasa is counting on us. Walking around the makeshift camp each attacking village had set up, he asked the commanders of each where the rest of the forces were. I thought they were here, already, was the response he received. So, he went looking for them. He ran around the perimeter of the village, thinking that maybe they had mistakenly arrived and set up camp in the wrong position. He was right. My God. What happened here? The sight he was greeted with upon arriving at the other campsite was pure destruction. Blood and gore was splattered everywhere, and not a single ninja was left alive. He searched through the camp, desperate to find at least one ninja alive. Hoping that at least one had survived to tell him what kind of monster had done this. Yo! A young voice yelled from behind him. Baki quickly turned around and saw Naruto standing behind him. What's the brat doing here? Naruto's next words answered his question. You won't find any ninja here, they were either killed or captured, last night. Naruto said with a smile. Baki glanced around, trying to see the other ninja he was sure to be around. I have no idea what you're talking about. I was just going out for a walk and stumbled upon this place. Oh. What a coincidence, that's how I found this place as well. I was just walking along, minding my own business, when I came across an enemy camp right outside our walls. So I had no choice but to wipe them out. Naruto's smile grew even larger. Quote. You wiped out an enemy camp while on a walk. Baki couldn't believe his ears. This kid was claiming to have wiped out over 1,000 ninja, single-handed. I take very enthusiastic walks. Naruto simply replied. Right. Baki slowly moved his hand to the hidden kunai he kept in his sleeve. He hated having to kill a child, but Lord Ross's orders came first. "Whatcha got there?" another voice said from behind him. Glancing over his shoulder, Baki saw another Naruto standing behind him. "What th? Smack." The Naruto standing in front of Baki slapped him across the face, knocking him out. "Why couldn't we punch this guy, again?" the other Naruto asked. "Sigh, because Tamari-chan would only give up their plans to help if we promised not to hurt her family and this guy." "Oh." The Naruto slapped his fist into his open palm. "Yeah. Wanna go get some ramen? We have time to kill. You read my mind. It's almost like we're two of a kind or something. You're literally my clone. What's your point? Is this what Yugao-sensei had to put up with? Nah, I'm not this bad." Naruto grabbed Baki by the leg and drug him along behind him. "We should probably drop this guy off with Tamari-chan, first." They were quiet for a few seconds. Nah. Off they went to Ikiraku's while dragging Baki's unconscious body. When they arrived at Ikiraku's ramen stand, Naruto lifted Baki's body and sat him on the stool, folded his arms and placed his head on them, as if he was sleeping. "Hello, Naruto. What can I get for you?" 2. Toiki looked between Naruto and the clone in confusion. "It's ninja stuff, old man." "Ah, that explains it. And, who's your friend?" Toiki motioned to Baki. "That's Baki, he had a long night." "Oh, he was out drinking." "Something like that." Naruto agreed. "He's going to have a headache when he wakes up." Snicker, "Yeah, probably." Meanwhile, Hiruzen and the other cage were watching Shikamaru and Tamari battling it out. "Your daughter is very skilled, Rasa. You should be proud." "Oh, I am," he said with a smile. Though on the inside, he was beginning to panic. The invasion was starting as soon as Gaara's match began. "So, where is Baki?" Baki was currently being dragged through Konoha by Naruto. "Well, I need to go take care of the other camp, now." "You drop him off at Temari's hotel room." "Ah, why do I have to do it?" the other Naruto asked. "Because you're the clone. One of these days, I'm going to start up a clones rights group and, yeah, just go already." Naruto jumped into the air, his clone flipped him off just before he left the ground. Naruto flew across Konoha and landed in the center of the enemy camp. "Hello, invading ninja." That got everyone's attention. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I would like to ask everybody to surrender before things get out of hand." The ninja looked between each other. "Kill him," one of the leaders yelled. "Wait." Naruto held up his hands, causing the ninja to stop their charge. "What is it, brat? I've asked this question before, but I never seem to get an answer. Mind if I ask you?" "Sigh, fine, ask your stupid question." The sand leader said. "What's your health plan like?" "What?" I said, "What's your health plan like? Do you have good coverage in case of injury during the line of duty?" "No, actually, our health coverage is shit." "Same here." A sound ninja agreed. "Oh. This is gonna suck for you, then." Naruto vanished in a burst of speed. "Attack!" the sound leader yelled. Naruto's world was moving even slower than usual, today. Even the attacking Jonin appeared to be standing still from his point of view. Did I get faster, again? Naruto wondered. He ducked under a wind jutsu and lifted the ninja up by his underwear and stretched it over his head. Then, Naruto lightly pushed the ninja into the air. Another ninja was drawing a sword, so Naruto took it from him and bonked him on the head with the handle. 3 more were charging up a collaboration jutsu, so Naruto lifted each one up and pointed them at each other. Naruto poked the sound leader on the forehead, causing his skin to ripple like water. Then he went to the sand ninja and tapped him on the cheek, causing his skin to ripple as well. To the attacking ninja, a streak of orange light filled the camp and ninja were being flung around. One poor bastard had his underwear pulled over his head, then was thrown into the sky and had yet to come down. The 2 leaders were taken out with 1 hit apiece. The sound leader's neck broke after taking a powerful blow to the forehead and all of the sand leader's teeth were knocked out. 3 ninjas exploded in a massive wind jutsu the kid had apparently used. The bodies of the 3 were torn to pieces. 1 ninja had his head crushed into his chest, killing him instantly. Over 100 ninjas spontaneously exploded into bits. No explanation could be given for what happened to them. It's a monster. A ninja yelled. Naruto flicked his forehead, sending him flipping into 4 other ninja. A few ninja tried to run away, but each one was sent flying back into the camp by the orange light. So, they resolved themselves to fighting to the bitter end. Naruto ran around the camp trying to knock out as many ninja as he could. Though accidentally killing a few, after 2 hours in his perception in only 10 minutes, real time, Naruto managed to subdue the entirety of the invading army. Almost all of the attacking sound ninja were alive, if injured and unconscious. But the sound ninja weren't treated so well. Though over 100 still lived, the majority of their number was dead. Naruto finally came to a stop in the middle of camp and wiped the blood from his hands. Phew, sorry about that, sound ninja. Gigi said that since you weren't allies, I couldn't leave all of you alive. Boom. Huh. Naruto looked back toward the village and saw smoke rising from the stadium. Sorry I can't stand around and chat, everyone. Duty calls. Naruto vanished again. Wah. What the fuck was that? A sound ninja yelled after waking up. With the cages as soon as Gaara and Sasuke's match began. Rasa and his Jonin guard, who turned out to be Orochimaru, sprung into action. Grabbing Hiruzen and carrying him onto the roof of the stadium. The Sound Four appeared and set up a barrier to prevent anyone from interfering. Now, Gaara. Rasa yelled. Crickets could be heard in the background. The other two Kage had somehow gotten popcorn in the commotion and were watching the scene as if it were a good show. I decline. Gaara responded. Rasa, who had just entered the barrier, turned back after hearing Gaara's response. What? I am Yuka's Kage and you will obey. Sigh. Very well. Playing possum jutsu. Gaara yelled after a few hand signs. Though Sasuke and the surrounding genin attempted to stop him, they were just a few seconds too slow. The sand poured out of Gaara's gourd and quickly formed the base form of the one tail. Maniacal laugh. I'm free, I'm free. He's not here, is he? The one tail was cautiously looking around for something. Oh, mighty Shukaku. Destroy our enemies. Rasa ordered. I decline. Oh, come on. Rasa screamed. Hiruzen was watching Orochimaru with awkward eyes. I get the feeling you would have done better, had you been alone. Orochimaru looked back at Hiruzen. He had been watching the show too. Ya know what? I'm getting that same feeling. The two of them began their battle. Shukaku, I command you to attack. I don't wanna. Shukaku had sat down in the arena and refused to move. The crowd and surrounding ninja were now unsure what to do. No one had attacked them yet, and the one tail obviously wasn't going to attack. So, they were confused as to what they could do. Get the civilians out of here. Shikaku Nara ordered. The ninja followed his order and began escorting the civilians out of the area. Gah! You stupid creature. Rasa roared. He looked at Ai and Onoki. What? You want to fight or something? They looked at each other, then back to Rasa. No, I'm fine just watching the show. They both said and raised their sake glasses to Rasa. Will you help us? Rasa asked. Nope. Figures. Rasa turned to the fight between Hiruzen and Orochimaru. Hiruzen. I have something to ask you. I'm busy. It'll only take a second. Busy. Orochimaru, wait a moment. Why? I have something to ask Hiruzen. Orochimaru stopped his assault and leaned on his sword. Fine, ask away. Hiruzen took the opportunity to smack Orochimaru in the face with his staff. Alright, now you can ask. Why is Hayate Gecko alive? I was told that he had been killed. Rasa asked. Knocking. Rasa heard someone knock on the barrier. Turning around to see who it was, he saw Naruto standing there with a smile on his face. Hi. Naruto waved, so Rasa waved back. Naruto was trying to tell Rasa something through the barrier, but Rasa couldn't hear him over the sound of Hiruzen and Orochimaru fighting again. I can't hear you. Rasa yelled. Naruto cupped his hand and yelled, still Rasa couldn't hear him. Still can't hear you. Naruto's face darkened. He drew back his fist and punched the barrier, causing it to break like a piece of glass. Then, he walked right up to Rasa, cupped his hands around his mouth and screamed. I saved him, you deaf bastard. Oh. Rasa's ears were ringing. And his face and the other Kage's faces were all frozen in shock. This blonde brat had broken that massive barrier in one punch. Naruto looked over Rasa's shoulder and saw Hiruzen standing still and Orochimaru screaming in pain. Though they were nowhere near each other. Slapping Rasa out of the way. Naruto ran over to Hiruzen. Gigi, what's wrong? Hiruzen was spitting out blood but he refused to lower his arms or drop the scroll in his mouth. He summoned the Shinigami, only way to kill the previous Hokage and get rid of Orochimaru. Enma, now back in his natural form, replied. What's going to happen to him? Naruto cried. After fulfilling its end of the bargain, it will devour Hiruzen's soul. The hell it is. Naruto began looking around for the Shinigami. Where is it, Gigi? The Sound 4 used the distraction to grab Orochimaru and make a run for it. Get him, Naruto. Hiruzen collapsed to his knees while looking far above Naruto's head. Oh, so you're there, are you? Hiruzen saw Naruto turn around and glare up at the Shinigami. He wanted to stop Naruto, to tell him not to anger the Shinigami, but he was too weak. Do you honestly believe that I will let you take my Gigi? Naruto roared at the Shinigami. You act as if you have a choice, mortal. I'm taking him, and there's nothing you or anyone can do to stop me from claiming my prize. The Shinigami allowed Naruto to see and hear it. Its appearance caused Naruto to narrow his eyes. Are you willing to bet your life on that? Chuckle. You cannot kill me, mortal. Though I would love to see you try. Naruto's eyes turned red with a slit pupil, and his hair stood on end and grew even wilder. Then, you're going to love this. Naruto drew back his fist. The Shinigami saw something in the boy's eyes then. Or a lack of something, as it were. No fear, this boy was confident that he could kill the Shinigami, and the scary part was. The Shinigami was starting to believe him. The boy's fist was fully drawn back, and the Shinigami saw his death flash before his eyes. If this boy hits me, I really will fade. Just before Naruto launched his punch. Very well, mortal. The old man can live, for now. The Shinigami glared at Hiruzen. If you ever summon me again, I will take your soul. Am I clear? Crystal. Good. The Shinigami vanished, leaving Naruto standing there in confusion and everyone else, extremely disturbed. So, Naruto looked over at Hiruzen. Is the invasion over? Chuckle * groan. Yes, now, please take me to the hospital. You got it, Gigi. Chapter 16. Both Haku and Ino will join Hinata in the final pairing. Temari paced around inside her brother's hospital room. Gaara had fainted sometime after the One Tail returned to its seal and hasn't woken up since. She was beginning to believe the Konoha doctors had done something, but the small smile on his face was keeping her from doing anything rash. I bet that damned blondie had something to do with this. Sigh. Nothing's gone well for us ever since the preliminaries ended. She thought back to the moment everything went wrong, and ultimately ruined her father's plans. Flashback. Gaara had to be carried to Konoha's hospital after that blonde idiot knocked him out. He'd been asleep for over 2 weeks, with no sign of waking up. And now the Hokage had come to see them. Sigh. What else could go wrong? Baki apparently had to kill a leaf ninja after their meeting the other night, to avoid him telling the Hokage of their plans. And now the Hokage had come to see them only a few hours after. Sigh. What else could go wrong? She wondered. Greetings, Sand Nin. Hiruzen said as he and Naruto entered Gaara's hospital room. Hello, Hokage-sama. Temari bowed and elbowed Kankuro in the ribs, so he would as well. Oh, none of that now. After all, we're allies, right? Hiruzen asked with a clearly faked smile. Nervous laugh, of course, Hokage-sama. Temari, see, I knew we were allies. So, mind if I asked you a hypothetical question? Hiruzen, sure. First, mind if I sit down? Temari nodded. Thanks, these old bones have been giving me trouble lately. Hiruzen smiled and took a seat in the available chair, while Naruto stood beside him. Sigh. That's better. Now, what would be your father's response if, let's say, one of his allies were plotting against him? Hiruzen lit his pipe and leaned back in the chair. I'm sorry. Temari squeaked. Kankuro discreetly pulled a kunai from his sleeve and palmed it. Chuckle. Looks like I'm not the only one with hearing problems here, Naruto? Naruto looks at Hiruzen. Did you say something, Gigi? Naruto tilted his head. Quote. You've been hanging around Kakashi again, haven't you? Naruto pulls a book out of his back pouch and started reading it. I have no idea what you mean, Gigi. Hiruzen's eye started to twitch. Sigh. Never mind. Hiruzen looked back to the Sand Ninja. Temari and Kankuro were looking at them in confusion. I'll just repeat myself then. What would your father do if an ally was plotting against him? Gulp. Kankuro stood up and Temari stepped in front of Gaara. Why do you ask, Hokage-sama? Tamari, as I said, it's a hypothetical question. Hiruzen smiled at her. He would probably do something to ensure his ally was punished for their betrayal. Hiruzen rubbed his chin in contemplation. Yes, I suppose that does make sense. Chuckle, well, who am I to argue with your father on such matters? Hiruzen stood and walked to the door. Naruto, do make sure they are comfortable. He then walked through the door, leaving Naruto alone with the sand nin. Gladly, Gigi. Naruto closed his book and looked at Tamari and Kankuro. What does he mean, Blondie? Tamari asked. Don't worry about it, Tamari-chan. Naruto walked around Tamari and over to the still sleeping Gaara. So, he's the Jinchuriki of the One Tail, huh? What of it? Just because he has that thing inside him doesn't mean he's not human. Tamari got in Naruto's face and shouted at him. Naruto's response was to smile brightly at her. I'm glad you agree, Tamari-chan. Kankuro dropped his kunai in surprise and had to catch it before it could hit the ground, while Tamari took a step back. What? Are you okay? You're stuttering a lot. Kinda reminds me of Hinata-chan, actually. I'm fine. She blushed and took another step back. Oh, that's good then. Naruto turned back to Gaara. I've never met another Jinchuriki before. What's wrong with his eyes, though? It's the One Tail's doing, I'd wager. Naruto jumped back from Gaara in shock. The sudden appearance of the voice caused him to want to scream, but he held it in. Hey, are you okay? Kankuro asked. Fine. I'm fine. Naruto muttered. Sigh, crazy blondes, they're everywhere. Smack OWW. Tamari slapped Kankuro on the head. I'm blonde, remember? Yes, I'm fully aware. Smack, ouch. Naruto ignored them in favor of talking with the Kyuubi. What do you mean, and how are you even talking with me? Yan, I'll answer the second question first. Dunno. Naruto face faulted. How can you not know? You're being loud again, and like I said. I don't know. I guess those cracks you put in my door are having an effect on you. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Depends on what you mean by bad. Can you use it to break out and attack the village? Not with the seal the fourth used. I'm bound to you until death. Wait, we're married. What? No, of course not. I'm too young to get married into a giant fox, no less. I said, we're not married. Where did you even get that idea? But you said we were bound until death. Isn't that what someone says when they get married? Sigh, not necessarily. Besides, not even I want to piss off that little Hyuga. She's scary. Why would that piss off Hinata-chan, and what do you mean she's scary? Hinata's the nicest person I know. Quote. Kyuubi. Asterisk biwahahaha. What? What's so funny? Chuckle. Nothing. What were we talking about, again? Gaara's eyes. Right. Basically, the One Tail is batshit insane, and has a tendency to keep its hosts from sleeping, in its insanity. That's awful. Is there anything I can do to help him? Sure, provided you want to go inside the One Tail's seal. Is that all? Pretty much. Will it help him sleep? Most definitely. Hey, Tamari-chan. What now, Blondie? Are you finally done staring at my brother? She glared at Naruto. Yeah, look. What would you do, if I could help your brother sleep? I don't know what you're talking about, don't lie. Naruto yelled. Tamari grabbed her fan and Kankuro pulled out the kunai, again. You can't help him. What if I could? What would you do? Okay. If you can help him, and that's if you actually can. Then, my family will owe you one. Naruto smiled at her. That's all I wanted to hear. He turned back to Gaara. What do I do, Kyuubi? I dunno, bump fists with him or something. What will that do? It's either that or kiss high, fist bump it is. Naruto quickly tapped his fist to Gaara's and felt a strong pull on his mind. Don't fight it, brat. Sorry. Naruto stopped resisting and felt his mind fade away. Tamari was watching this and got really annoyed. I swear if this brat is doing this just to hit on my brother, I'll kill him. Then she remembered something. Well, that is if that little Hyuga bitch doesn't kill us first. Inside the seal, Naruto was standing in the middle of a massive desert and he could see a massive shadow in the distance. So, this is Gaara's seal, huh? Yep. Naruto felt a weight land on his shoulder, so he looked up and saw a tiny Kyuubi sitting there. Ah, you're tiny. The Kyuubi stuck one finger in each ear and glared at Naruto. Why do you yell, when I'm sitting right here? The Kyuubi yelled back. That's why I'm yelling, furball, you're sitting on my shoulder. Alright, point taken. How are you even here? I'm the reason you're in here, so obviously I had to come as well. Why, though? Plot. What? Nothing, moving on. You can't just, oh look, here comes the one tail. Really? Naruto started searching for it. Thank God he has the attention span of a. Well, I was going to say a goldfish, but honestly, I think that would insult the fish. A few minutes of searching later, and the ground began to shake. Before a massive amount of sand rose up into the sky and formed the one tail. What do you want? Sigh. Sorry about this, brat. But can you give us a few minutes to talk? Sure. Naruto walked away leaving Kyuubi and the one tail alone. They watched him walk away before the one tail lay down to talk with Kyuubi. What are you doing here, Kurama? Kurama raised an eyebrow in the one tail. What? Can't a guy come to visit his younger sister? Oh, spare this one your lies and tell us the truth. Kurama was growing annoyed with Shukaku's yelling. Quiet down, Shukaku. I was getting to that. Fine, we are waiting. Kurama's eyes started twitching. Alright, if that's how this is going to be. I came to warn you, Shukaku. Kurama hopped on Shukaku's nose and made his way to her ear. Do you see that brat over there? The blonde one that gave us a headache. Yes, that one. What about it? I came to warn you. As a proper older brother should. Yes, get on with it. We are growing impatient. Fine. A monster follows him around. Somewhere, a white-eyed girl sneezed. A monster. Yes, a terrifying monster. What's this monster called, and why should we fear it? This monster is called the white-eyed devourer, and is obsessed with that brat over there, and will viciously attack and devour any female that touches him. The white-eyed devourer, huh? She's still sneezing. What, don't you believe me? Not even a little. Shukaku deadpanned. Fine, then believe your own two eyes. Kurama touched his forehead to Shukaku and projected his made-up memories to her. After 5 minutes of this, Shukaku ran and threw up a massive amount of sand. What the fuck was that thing? She screamed. That was the white-eyed devourer. Her father came in to check on her because of her continuous sneezing. It was hideous. Those eyes, those teeth. That smile shivers. Thank you for telling us of this creature. We will endeavor to stay out of its way. A thought struck Shukaku, then. Does the human know of this creature? She whispered. No, I only know of this creature because my previous host knew its mother. They hide behind a facade of innocence when around their chosen mate and are mostly docile. Unless their place is threatened. Kurama said with a nod. We see, anything we can do to avoid this shivers horrible creature. She accidentally headbutted her father after a violent sneeze. Let your host get some sleep, and for our father's sake. Don't attack the brat. We understand. Thank you, Kurama. Don't mention it, Shukaku. Seriously, don't mention it. Kurama hopped off Shukaku and made his way over to Naruto. All done. Yes. Naruto began walking over to the one tail. Hey, one tail. He called. Shukaku, after hearing Naruto's call, turned to see him walk toward her, so she dove under the sand to avoid him. Huh. Wah. What is it? I came here to ask if you would let Gaara sleep. What? Oh, sure. Just leave already. That's rude. Chuckle. I think the one tail has had enough, Naruto. We should go now. But I wanted to fist bump it too. No thanks, don't touch me. Fine then. No need to be so rude. The Kyuubi then pulled the two of them back out of Shukaku's seal. Damn Kurama, bringing that monster's prey here in order to intimidate us. Well, we're onto you. And we definitely aren't scared. We just suddenly decided not to ever come out around him. That's all. Back to the almost present. Temari didn't know what that little brat had done, but after fist bumping Gaara, he just suddenly said that the one tail had promised to let Gaara sleep and left. Though she didn't believe him at first. When Gaara finally did wake up the next day, he was actually happy. The dark circles under his eyes had faded slightly and a tired smile was on his face. Ever since that day, Gaara's been sleeping just fine. So, Temari decided to honor her word and to repay her debt to the blonde brat by telling him of her father's plans to invade Konoha. He, in turn, took her to the Hokage so she could retell her story. I'm glad you decided to tell us of this. Had you not, our relationship would have been strained. I understand, Hokage-sama. You may go now, Tamari-san. I need to speak with Naruto for a moment. Yes. Can I ask a favor? I don't see why not. But, whether or not I agree is another matter entirely. Tamari seemed to grow unsure of herself. Can you spare Baki-sensei and my family? Quote. Is your father included in that number? Scoffs, he's the cage, not my father, but, he is family as well. I understand. If at all possible, I will avoid killing either of them. Thank you, Hokage-sama. She bowed and left the room. After ensuring that she had truly left, Hiruzen turned to Naruto. Spare as many sand ninja as possible. We don't want our allies too weak to help us should we need it, but the cage is fair game. But, didn't you just promise not to kill him? And I won't. If he attacks you, I'm simply giving you permission to punch him. If he doesn't attack first, then don't worry about him. I understand, Gigi. Back to the present. Groaned Tamari snapped her head in Gaara's direction. Gaara, you're awake. She grabbed him in a hug and before she had even realized what she'd done, he hugged her back. You're warm. His voice snapped her out of it. She tried to pull away, but he held on. Gaara, are you okay? I'm fine. I just slept really well. Oh, that's good. She rubbed his head as he fell back asleep. Maybe the blonde brat isn't so bad, after all. Meanwhile Naruto was visiting Hiruzen in the hospital when Jiraiya came barging in. Sensei. Sigh. What is it Jiraiya? I found her, sensei. Oh. Good. You two can leave immediately then. Wait. Two, sensei. Yes, you too, Jiraiya. You're taking Naruto with you. But, I don't want to go with the pervert, Gigi. I didn't ask, Naruto. Sai my last act as Hokage is to give you this order Naruto. What do you mean, your last act, Gigi? The doctors said you were fine. I'm old, Naruto. I can't hold onto my title forever, and I'd rather die than let Danzo take the position. So, I'm trusting you and Jiraiya to go and retrieve my replacement. Sigh, okay, Gigi. Naruto looked to Jiraiya. Where is this lady we're going to get? Jiraiya smiled at Naruto. She's in Tanzaku town. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.